Hello, this is Father David, here on day 37 of the Nativity fast. The gospel reading for today comes from St. Mark's Gospel, chapter 10, and goes through, the part that we'll read is beginning in verse 14 through 16. And it was saying that, verse 13, they were bringing children to him that he might touch them. And the disciples rebuked them. But when Jesus saw it, he was indignant and said to them, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them. For to such belongs the kingdom of heaven. Truly I say to you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God like a child shall not enter it." And he took them in his arms and blessed them, laying his hands upon them. But today we have St. Cyril of Alexandria in our meditation for today. His commentary on the Gospel of St. Luke is the basis for this comment, but this is one of those many, many moments where the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, also called the Synoptic Gospels, so called because the scene means like with, and optic, meaning the way that they see things. They are together, they are with one another in terms of what they see Christ say and do. So there's a lot that they have in common. And this is one of those places where St. Cyril comments on this saying of Jesus. He says this: "It is necessary, however, to examine what is the meaning of being babes. In other words, who does not receive the kingdom of God like a child or like a baby, like an innocent babe. But he speaks of it, St. Cyril does, of being babes in wickedness, and how a man becomes so while in mind a grown man. A babe then, as knowing either very little or nothing at all, is justly acquitted of the charge of depravity and wickedness." Let us note here, first of all, before we go in any further, that the Orthodox Church and the Fathers deny that infants are guilty of original sin. They deny that infants are totally depraved and evil and awful. They are justly acquitted, rather, of the charge of depravity and wickedness. And then he continues, "And so it is also our duty to endeavor to be like them in the very same way, by putting habits of wickedness entirely away from us, so we too may be regarded as men who do not even know the pathway leading to guile, but who, unconscious of malice and fraud, live in a simple and innocent manner, practicing gentleness and a priceless humility, and readily forbearing from wrath and spitefulness, being patient and staying away from anger and all of this. For such, we affirm, are the qualities found in those who are still babes." So what is this that we learn? We hear the words of Christ that we must enter the kingdom of God as a little child. Guileless, meaning without any kind of pretense. Simple, in terms of, we would say, dependence. When you come up to a little baby who is hungry, that child, only knows that they depend upon you. They depend upon their mother for their next meal. They are completely open to them. Now, of course, growing up, we can see that, babies develop the possibility of deception, of ego, of desiring things and throwing tantrums when they don't get what they want. And it's important to understand that we are not called to imitate childishness by doing many of the same things, but childlikeness, in terms of simply and openly saying, "You are my Father, O God. I'm dependent upon you for my next breath. I need your daily bread that you would give to me. And truly to also approach our fellow men in that sort of what you see is what you get, and not any kind of pretense or ulterior motive or selfishness or egotism in terms of what can we get out of this interaction, out of this friendship, but simply a gentle openness and readiness to serve. And it's by doing this, by approaching God and man in this way, that we approach the kingdom of God as little children, ready to enter the kingdom of our Father. So may God bless you. Lord willing, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.